I've been searching far and wide to understand what makes the human condition succeed. And I'm talking about what enables us to succeed in any environment imaginable. Whether it's the lacrosse fields at Penn State University, or it's the mountains of Afghanistan, the frigid waters of the Pacific, or even the shores of Haiti on a mission trip that I was involved in. I've searched long and far to figure out what makes us succeed. Now, in that journey, in that 20 years of searching, I've had the incredible, absolute blessing to be part of an organization that has been doing it for 70 plus years. And that's the UDT SEAL teams. And so what I've done is I've combined this journey with the operational, the training, and the elite lifestyle performance doctrine of the SEAL teams to come up with two truths. Two truths. The first is self-confidence is everything. Now, you people in this room being salespeople, you know about self-confidence, don't you? You know how to walk into a room and be like, hey, this is what North American is all about. And you can make the sale happen anytime, can't you? Yes, sir. Roger that. Anytime, can't you? Roger that. All right. So you guys know about self-confidence. That's why you're here. The second part of it is understanding a total commitment to living the team-orientated lifestyle. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean calling yourself to the greater good. Calling yourself to an idea, a philosophy, a theory that goes beyond just what your paycheck says. That goes beyond just what you're capable of doing in your own little microcosm world. It goes back to what this family has been doing for generations. And understanding that commitment level that's born of that. That forces you to move forward. That forces you to give everything you have. And I call that the team life. For 70 years, we've been sacrificing. We've been volunteering to give everything that we are to all of you. We've been sacrificing for our friends and their families. We've been sacrificing for our families. But most importantly, we've been sacrificing for the man that's next to us in combat. The man that's willing to give everything that they are or everything that they will ever be to me. Now, when you think about what that level of commitment is all about, you start to begin to understand where I'm coming from today. Now, many of you are challenged sometimes in making the relationship between my life and my experiences of the SEAL teams to your life. Well, what I ask of you right now is, how far are you willing to go in your lives for the people that you love? What I ask you right now is to think back to those most horrific times in your life. The times where you were beaten down over and over again and didn't feel like you could get up, but yet there was somebody who reached out, who came out and put their hand out to you and pulled you back into the fight. Think about that person and the commitment they showed you. Well, that's the team life. That's the life that we live by. And if you want to be the best that you can be, you want to succeed in levels you never dreamed of, that's what you have to start thinking like. That's what you have to start embedding in your heart so far down deep that every single thought that you have, sir, in this life is driven by your one objective: to make these people know how committed you are. That's the team life. When you get in those times in your life where stress is overwhelming you, where the environment is beating you down, if you don't have a team to turn to, if you don't have an idea of where to fall back, who to gain strength from, then guess what? You're never going to be able to do that. If you're a lone ranger off on your own doing your own thing, there's no way you can succeed, period. So I'm here today to share with you my concept about living the team life. Up top, you'll see the Navy SEAL Trident. That's the insignia that we wear. Below that is the Congressional Medal of Honor. Now, I hope everybody in here is familiar with the Congressional Medal of Honor. If you're not, it's our nation's highest award. They give that out for people that perform above and beyond the call of duty. Now, the kicker to that award is most of people, about 90%, 90+% of people who have won that award are dead because of their heroism. So think about that. Think about that and the effort it takes to go so far out of your normal comfort zone behavior that you're willing to die for something that you believe in. You have so much integrity that swells up inside you when you're acting on behalf of what you represent that you'll go all the way. That's the team life. So in order for me to share with you what the team life is all about to us, I'm going to share with you what the standard is for us. The standard by which we operate. The standard by which we live. And that's the Congressional Medal of Honor. All right. Here we go. I'm going to introduce you guys to 4 life missions to forge your commitment to living the team life. Now, if you want to get to that moment in your life, and you want to understand true commitment, you've got to first start with yourself physically. People ask us, why do you guys do the crazy things you do? Why do you throw on a rucksack and go for a run 60 miles up in the mountains for 4 straight days? Because you're cuckoo? No. It's because I can't be in Helmand province clearing through, Kandahar or somewhere and getting shot at and be like, time out there, Mr. Taliban. Hold on, give me a minute. Just give me 1 minute and let me catch my breath. Okay, I'm good. Go ahead and shoot, right? You can't do that. In fact, I was on an operation when I was in Afghanistan 2002 with SEAL Team 1 that lasted 5 straight days. I slept for probably 2 hours the entire time. You can't quit. There is no quitting in combat. You have to have that commitment to yourself physically. You have to push your body to limits you don't know. So when you are fatigued, you can get back in the game. We are gathered here today for me to tell you that I don't care if you're Catholic, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, Confucius, atheist, agnostic. I don't care. I've worked with every type of human being there is on the planet. What I care about is that something gets you up in the morning. Something propels you to be better. Something that makes you take that blind leap of faith about something. That gets you committed to yourself and to your team on a whole nother level. All right, mission never ends. Now, I want you guys to envision, a 100-mile marathon for you guys, right? An ultra marathon. I want you guys to start and you're going and, okay, after, 20 hours you finish and you're at the end and you're like, yeah, I just did a 100-mile marathon. I rule. And then you're going to stop and you're going to go, I wonder if I can do a 200-miler. That's the way life should be in your mind. That's the competitive spirit they're talking about. That's the idea that gets you back in the next race. The fact is, if you figure that you stop and you finish a mission and you're done and that's it, you're wrong. Because you'll never get to that next level. If you come to your team and you say, hey, yeah, I've done it all, I've seen it all, I'm there, I know everything, guess what? You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So that mission never ends. Embrace that. Let me tell you something, and this is from personal experience. I've been involved with thousands of high-risk training evolutions, not only as a student or an operator, but also as a trainer. The human is capable of so much more. You can do things that you wouldn't even imagine you can do. Trust me, I've seen it. I've propelled people to do things they never thought were possible. But you have to want to. You have to want to commit to training at the highest level. And let me tell you something. None of you were born elite. Now let me tell you from my past example. I was born in Boca Raton, Florida. My father's a successful attorney. I had a nice fat silver spoon in my mouth, right? Went to the elite prep schools. Went to Choate up in Connecticut. Went to Penn State to play lacrosse. Ended up losing my mind there and had to eventually get to a point where the only thing that would save me was to drop out of school and enlist and join the Navy. And I walked in that training at the Philip H. Buck Blues Center, Naval Special Warfare, and they went, whack! And knocked that silver spoon out of my mouth as far as you've ever seen. It was awesome. It was the greatest feeling I've ever had in my life. Because it was finally, I was starting to take training where it needed to be. I had to eliminate all the known comfort zones in my life. Now, we all have comfort zones, don't we? We have comfort zones every single day. We wake up in the morning sometimes and we're going to go for our run in the morning, right? And we're like, and then we get the text from one of these gentlemen over, I got to get in. I can't do that run this morning. I'll put it off through tomorrow. And tonight, you guys will be out at Gibson's or wherever you're going to go hang out tonight. And you know what? You're going to be at that. You know, I really shouldn't have this last drink, but we're having a good time. Yeah. Well, in order to really understand the level of training you need to be at, you have to eliminate those comfort zones. Because comfort zones, again, we learn from a very early age. And we put comfort zones in our lives to protect us, don't we, sir? To protect us from not being able to go harder, or to protect us from the failure of realizing maybe I'm not prepared. Roger that. Well, guess what? If comfort zones start becoming how your life is dictated, how you live your life, and that's the standard, you'll never be training yourself the way you need to. You'll never be training as hard as you need to. The idea is, though, to think about communication on all levels. Now, you mentioned to speak and to listen, but communication is much more than that, isn't it? Communication is how you present yourself. It's how you shake someone's hand. It's how you represent North America. It's how you earn your trident every day. It's how you represent your families, your loved ones, your team. That's true communication. I had my commanding officer, SEAL Team 1, come out one day. Our whole command was out there, and this guy, former SEAL Team 6 guy, and he comes out and goes, "Gents, let me tell you something. Bombs and guns and bullets don't win wars. Good comms does." Now, what he meant by that is that the ability for a team to communicate at the highest level will guarantee success. Right? Ask yourselves, are you communicating at that level? Now, if you were to ask my wife, who I affectionately call the Admiral, she would say, "No, he's not a good communicator." And I say, "But honey, I'm a professional speaker." And she goes, "That's why you're probably not a good communicator." Oh, roger that. I'll work on it. A leader is somebody that will do anything for his team or her team. A leader is somebody that doesn't just talk a big game about what leadership is or do as I say and not as I do. A leader is a person that puts their boots on the ground every single day and exemplifies the word. It's in them. It's part of their DNA. But let me tell you something. I know a little bit about fear. All right, I've been to Afghanistan 4 separate times. I've done, again, thousands of training operations with live fire ammunition at night on night vision. All right, I've been on both sides. I've been in combat. I've pushed people into embracing and containing fear. You know what the greatest tool that you can use to contain fear is? What do you think it is, ma'am? Nope. Sir? Yes, sir. Greatest thing to contain fear. Greatest tool. What was the one over here? Nope. Love. That's right. There's a Navy SEAL standing in front of you right now. I'm going to tell you about love. Now let me put it into perspective for you. See those 3 guys on the left? Danny, Matt, and Lieutenant Murphy? They're all dead. They're dead in the ground, not coming back, gone. Now, they're not blood brothers. They're not family members. They didn't grow up together. They've only been working with each other for a couple years. Some of them a couple months. But guess what? They're willing to die for each other, and they did. Why? Because they loved each other. They loved each other. Now all of you are thinking to yourself, man, that's combat. That's the SEAL teams. That's something that I don't have in my life. But guess what? Who in here's got kids? Would you die for your kids, sir? Not even a second thought, would you? I've got this amazing, beautiful 2-year-old little girl I call the Bear. And I look at her and I have a love in my heart that's nothing I've ever known before. So you do know what I'm talking about. You do have things and people in your lives that you love that much. Now, if you want to be a leader, you let that lead yourself. You let that love get you out of bed every day. You let that love propel you to be a part of a team in a whole new manner. You let that love teach you about commitment and training and communication and leadership. You let that be the lead in your life. And you'll start understanding what the team life means. Life is about being in combat. But if you're in combat, and you're in combat with a team that believes in the same things that you believe and has the same definition that you have, that believes in the integrity and the teamwork and the legacy that makes the difference, then you will live the team life. Now I'm asking you, in fact, I am begging you, ladies and gentlemen, to realize that today is a day like no other. Because today is a day that you can go out those doors, that you can go back out into your lives, and you can lead with love. You can communicate at a whole new level. You can train yourselves to be the absolute best you can be. And you can show the people on your team and in your life just how committed you are.